Hey, I'm Alex Martinez, and I'm the CEO of eCompete Solutions. We are an Amazon consulting agency. We show you how to sell on Amazon. Now, in today's video, this is very exciting because I get a lot of requests for this. A launch strategy for your PPC efforts, a launch strategy, not a continuation strategy. A continuation strategy is a little bit more straightforward. So, a brand that has ran some ads for a very, very long time has statistics or KPIs that they can read and say, oh, this is working well for us, and this is not working out well for us. So they stop what's bad and they continue what's good. It's pretty simple once you've gotten the ball rolling. But getting the ball rolling is sometimes the hardest part, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. Now, as an example, I pulled up this product here. This is a Apple iMac computer, and if you scroll down to a section that every single product on Amazon has, it's called product information. You'll find what's called best seller rank. You want to get this first number, 422. The other numbers don't matter. Don't pay attention to the other numbers. It doesn't really matter. But here, computers and accessories. Go to Google, type in Amazon sales estimator, and click on whatever one floats your boat. Jungle Scout is fine for me. And what's the rank again? 422. So I'm going to put here 422. Amazon Marketplace, United States of America, Amazon product category, computers and accessories. How much does this sell a month? 1,410. Now, usually you'll be the only seller here, so you will have those 1,000 sales to you, but these sellers have to divide it amongst themselves, but that's not the point. So let's pretend you are the only seller and you're selling about 1,410 units a month. Now, you can calculate that and you should calculate that, especially if you're a brand. But if you're an individual, you have to calculate how many units you're selling a month, because at this point is when you want to optimize, because there are three phases to a launch process. Now, here is your structure, which I'm only going to talk about structure and strategy. I'm not going to talk about how to implement the structure. This is your structure, but now I'm going to talk a little bit about the strategy, the launch process, right? So there's phase one, phase two, and phase three. Phase one is when you invest in your product. You're spending a lot of money. You're probably not making any money at all, but what are you getting? Information, you're getting sales velocity. You're lowering that rank that I just showed you. When that rank lowers, your sales increase by a lot. And therefore, once your rank lowers significantly, it can sustain itself to a degree, to a certain degree, not all the time. So if you stop ads, that rank that you saw, that's 400. If you stop ads, it doesn't mean that it's going to stay at 400, especially if you're an individual. You have to see the bigger picture. You have to see that your ads are contributing to your catalog success. So you cannot stop ads under any circumstances if you're an individual. If you're a brand, you can stop ads as long as you're running ads on Google or social media. It doesn't really matter. Brands have a different strategy to play here. But again, if you stop ads altogether, your rank suffers. And now it's no longer 422. It's a little bit higher. But there are instances where you can maintain those ads. Maintain those ads, but reduce them. If you reduce them, your rank goes up, but it goes up by a little bit. And now all of a sudden you've crossed into phase two of this whole process, which is optimization. Now you're optimizing for profitability. You're lowering your bids, you're maneuvering your bids in such a way that now you're making money from it, but you're still gathering sales velocity and reviews. And with optimization, you should get between a 10 to 30% take costs. That's what your goal should be for phase two. You can see one of my other videos on take costs if you want to know what that means. And then phase three is when you reduce it to 10 to 20% take costs. Phase three is a continuation of phase two. Basically, phase two is going fine. Now you cross into phase three and see how far your product can sustain itself, because at the end of the day, you want to optimize for profitability. That's why we have phase two and phase three. We don't just have phase one to just spend, and sell, because nobody's here to just sell. People are here to make a profit. Now I'm going to talk briefly about the structure. So for every detail page, and I recommend you have as many variations as you can per detail page. So if you have a necklace, put as many necklaces as you can. How many colors do you offer it in? Is it in gold, silver, rose, whatever? Put them all into one detail page. And for every detail page, if you're an individual, you want to have one auto campaign, and one manual campaign. The manual campaign can be any manual keyword that you can think of. Now, here I want you to do keyword research on 4 words and that's it. I don't want 400, 500, no. 4 words and guess them. Then I want you to monitor those keywords because you're going to bid aggressively on those keywords. You're going to be the highest bidder there. You're going to get shown as much as possible with your 4 keywords and see how profitable that is. Will that lower your rank significantly enough to 10,000, to 20,000, maybe even to 5,000, where you can then cross into phase 2? Now, if your necklace, for example, has a bunch of variations like gold, silver, a rose, I want you to stick them into a category, an ad group per each variation. Each variation gets an ad group. This is going to help target the ads even further. Now, if you're a brand, it's very, very similar, almost identical. You want to have your one auto campaign to harvest different keywords from, but with your manual campaigns, you're going to have 3 manual campaigns. And they're going to be divided into 3 categories. One is generic, one is competitor, and one is branded search terms. Why? Because brands are constantly advertising throughout third-party platforms like Google or social media, and therefore there is a brand awareness. There are customers that are going to Amazon and they can't find you. Therefore, there are branded search terms that are helping you get those sales because of your outside efforts. You want to basically pull them in. You're responsible for pulling them in. Otherwise, your Amazon customer or your customer can't find you and you lose that customer. So that's why branded search terms are a lot easier. They're a lot easier to convert because people are already looking for that brand. So you want to stick them into one campaign. Competitor search terms are very expensive because competitor search terms are always bidding very, very high. So if you want to steal brand equity, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And generic search terms are in the middle. They're more expensive than branded search terms, but they're less expensive than competitor search terms. But everyone wants to rank for generic search terms, especially a brand who wants to take away brand equity. And so you leave this running and you keep on harvesting these auto keywords. Remember, your auto campaign is like a mini-me. The mini-me that's trying out different key terms at all times, random key terms. Your mini-me is trying out 1 impression here, 1,000 impressions here, 10 impressions here, and it gives you a report. You want to go into your auto reports, which I'm not going to show you this today. I'm just going to show you the structure. Go into your auto reports. If you know how to do this, great, because when you go into your auto reports and you pull out your keyword reports, you can see exactly which keywords your auto campaign used or gave an impression for and which keywords got a sale on. Because sometimes you could spend a week with your auto campaigns getting lots of sales, and the following week you get no sales. And you think, well, what happened to my auto campaign? Well, it's because your auto campaign is constantly changing. You're never going to have straightforward statistics in your auto campaign. Your auto campaign is mainly for harvesting, and that's why I recommend between 2,000 to 5,000 impressions for your auto campaign. That is just enough. That's the sweet spot for impressions for your auto campaign. And your manual campaigns, it really depends on how effective your manual campaigns are being. If they're being super effective, great, go for 10,000 impressions. I don't care. And so you keep on modifying this strategy. You keep on modifying bids. I suggest modify bids 3 times a day for all words. I suggest you guess per each group in your manual branded campaigns. So I want you to guess 4 keywords for your branded campaign, 4 keywords for your competitor campaign, and 4 keywords for your generic campaign for a total of 12 keywords per detail page for your manual campaign for the brands. Not for individuals. Individuals is only 4, but for brands it's 12. And then you keep on harvesting new keywords as you go. On a weekly basis, you print out your auto search term reports, you figure out which keywords are good, and you move them to your manual campaigns into their respected ad groups. And you keep on doing this until you form spectacular sponsored products PPC campaigns. And at that point, if you're a brand and you're ready to move on to sponsored brands, you can apply the same keywords that you're using in your sponsored products because you've worked hard at it. Every single week, you're adding new keywords, and you have this huge list of 300 manual key terms that you know work, that you know you're relevant for because you pull them out of your auto campaign once a week for like 6 months. You have that list of keywords, and now you can utilize that keywords on your sponsored brands campaign. Hey there, and thanks for watching my video. I hope you learned something that will help you get a return on your investment in your Amazon journey. Now, as you may already know, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor 6 years ago, and I stand here today due to the efforts of the University of Miami. I spent 12 days in the hospital and about 6 months of rehab later, it's like it never even happened. What the University of Miami is doing is incredible. What the University of Miami Brain Tumor Initiative is doing is incredible. So I would be forever grateful if you considered making a donation to this initiative. And how do you do that? Well, if you've seen my courses, you know I love going to Google. And when I go to Google, I'll put in University of Miami Brain Tumor Initiative. And you can literally write this all totally incorrect, and Google will correct it for you. And then the first link here is umiamihealth.org. You'll get taken to the exact section where you'll find the University of Miami Brain Tumor Initiative, because you know that the University of Miami is a big, big school and there's a big hospital. They do lots of different things. You want to get to the section where it's the Brain Tumor Initiative. And then up here, you can just press donate now, and then you can follow the prompts, and you'll see a bunch of buttons that say, oh, your donation will be a tax write-off. So you can look forward to that. And you can look forward to, see, here's the button right here. And you can look forward to helping thousands of people like myself get a second chance at life.